First and foremost, I would like to give all praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Harakat Ma'amath. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone and the elders. Double honors to my elder as well, Aharon Ben Yasha Allah of the Lions Den Camp. And salutations to the fellow Akim, Outwafim, and children that believe in truth and in sincerity. It's your brother Athanya Allah back to another lesson in Yahweh Tazah is edifying. I just wanted to do a lesson pertaining to, I want to start off in the book of 1 Corinthians chapter 1 and verse 10 through 17. All right, and make up, I don't know, it stood out to me. I just wanted to highlight this pertaining to these wayward ABCD camps. All right, the confusion that's out here. All right, as the Lord is not an author of confusion. All right, and the importance of how all men are supposed to speak the same things. All right, and this is how you know that everybody's not a prophet. All right, everybody's not coming in the name of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Everybody's not set up to teach the word of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. This is 1 Corinthians 1 and 10. Now I beseech you, brethren, by the name of our Lord Yahweh Shai Mashiach, that ye all speak the same thing. You know, and this is Paul speaking. All right, so anybody that's considered a brethren, all right, in this sheepfold is supposed to be speaking the same thing. All right, and that there be no divisions among you, but that ye be perfectly joined together in the same mind and in the same judgment. Right, you know, in the same mind, the same la'ah, the heart. All right, in the same judgment. All right, pertaining to what? The laws, statute, commandments of the Lord. All right, what he's have laid out for us to build ourselves up with, you know, for us to learn. All right. You know, the things that are written aforetime are written for our learning. All right. So we are ultimately supposed to rightly divide the word of truth, increase in knowledge. All right. And wisdom of Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. And most importantly, speak the same thing. All right. We supposed to be striving to be perfect, man. Perfection in doctrine as well as in spirit. All right. From now, I want to get 2 Corinthians right quick. Chapter 6 and verse 14. Be ye not unequally yoked together with unbelievers. For what fellowship have righteousness with unrighteousness? And what communion have light with darkness? Right. You know, so you're not supposed to be unequally yoked. All right. You know, with unbelievers, you know, you can't have one person believing in one thing, or majority of the people believing in one thing, and then you got these straddlers over here, or these straddlers over here thinking about something else, or clinging and pertaining and thinking of something else. And you know that that's what's in these other wayward camps. All right, because they have, for one, too many people. All right, that they can't keep track of. All right, for prime example, the IUICs, the ISUPKs. All right, the Adam Abbotts. All right, the Sakaris. All right, you ask any of these people individually pertaining to their doctrine, they're going to have a different answer. All right, you ask them individually what the MOTB is, they're going to have a different answer. All right, so we're supposed to speak the same things. All right, but these other wayward camps don't. All right, which shows you they're not set up in truth and in sincerity to come in the Lord's name. All right, to come on his behalf and do this thing correctly. All right, they've been set up as the false the wicked scribes and Pharisees that lead other peoples astray. This is 1 Corinthians 1 and back in verse 10. All right. Well, verse 11. For it hath been declared unto me of you, my brethren, by them which are of the house of Cole, that there are contentions among you, man. You don't want to have contentions among you. All right. And this is Paul. All right. Letter to one of the churches, man. All right. As it was a confusion going on, and you don't want to have contentions among you. And Paul didn't want to have nothing to do with that confusion. All right. And let's read on. It says, verse 12, now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, and I of Apollos, and I of Cephas, and I of Hamashiach. Is Hamashiach divided? All right. Is Yahweh Shai Mashiach divided? Was Paul crucified for you? Or were ye baptized in the name of Paul? Right. And that's the point. And that's important. All right. Being baptized in the name of. All right. Or were you baptized by? All right. You know, that's a distinction because, hey, that goes back to the whole John topic. All right. Of ISUPK, or how he wasn't a man of the Lord, you know, How he was baptizing, and when Yahweh Shai came on the scene, he was like the inaugurator. All right, he was like he anointed Yahweh Shai to go ahead and and his work was done. Being John, that was right. But this is Paul back in verse 12. He says, "Now this I say, that every one of you saith, I am of Paul, and I of Apollos, and I of Cephas, and I of Yahushua Mashiach." Is Yahushua Mashiach divided? Right. And that's what you got to ask these camps, man. Ask these individuals that are among you claiming to be worshiping in truth and in sincerity if you are in the midst of these camps. All right. Because the elect, if the elect is in these camps, they're going to be purged out of it, man. They're going to see the folly for what it is. They're going to see the hypocrisy, right? Or were you baptized in the name of Paul? I think Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, that I baptized none of you, but Crispus and Gaius, lest any should say that I had baptized in my own name, right? And that's the evidence, and that's the danger that these leaders of these other camps are in, like Bishop Nate, General Yohana, as they have clinged on to them people, a lot of people to themselves, which I'm sure there's some people that believe on the MOTB being the chip and some that don't. All right, that's sticking to the script. All right, which shows that they all don't speak the same things. All right. But just as Paul said, hey, he thanked God that he baptized none of them. All right. Because that's a dangerous position to be in. All right. To be done, have taught a whole bunch of people and they think they're doing things correctly. All right. And not according to what's written. All right. And they are pretty much worshiping man. All right. They're divided in doctrine and they're a bunch of men worshipers, pertaining to these other ABCD camps and these wayward camps. All right. As well as you got some of those types in the fold, man, with the GMS moniker. Right. They worship Nate so much they've made him an idol. Right. Versus the focus being on the elect. All right. Those who understand the scriptures, man, who accept Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahweh Shai, who accept the word. But this is back in 1 Corinthians 1:15. Lest any should say that I am baptized in my own name. And I baptized also the household of Stephanus. Besides, I know not whether I baptize any other. For Yahweh Shai Mashiach sent me not to baptize, but to preach the gospel. Not with wisdom of words, lest the cross of Yahweh Shai Mashiach should be made of none effect, right? That cross, hey, you want to bear that cross, that affliction, all right? But these wayward camps, they don't want to bear that cross. They want to have that pride upon them, like, yeah, we the real Jews, and walk upon the world and think they can gain in this society and build upon this society, upon this kingdom, this establishment, this world, with that notion, all right? Well, that notion is what that knowing, that knowledge is for you to ultimately resort back to your culture, your nationality, and repent, all right, and hope for the salvation, hope for the destruction of this place, all right, not wanting to aid in the bed and build in this place, all right. This place is going to be done away with, all right. So ultimately, that's the point. The point being they're divided in doctrine. They're a bunch of men worshipers, man. One of the scriptures I wanted to get is Matthew 15:9. Just get back to the point. But in vain they do worship me, teaching for doctrines the commandments of men. Right. They ultimately go according to what Bishop Nate or General Yohana has set up. The apostle just went into how Bishop Nate said a while ago, years ago, how the new moon falls on a full moon. All right. Well, according to their Sabbath is always Friday sundown to Saturday sundown. And the new moon is when you don't see nothing. A full moon is when what a wolf howls at. Wolves in sheep clothing, man, when you look at it spiritually. But this is the book of Galatians, chapter 1 and verse 10. And it reads, "For do I now persuade men or Yahweh, or do I seek to please men? For if I yet please men, I should not be the servant of Yahweh Shah Mashiach." That's just a clear point, And there's a bunch of man pleasers with these other wayward camps, especially this Adam Abbott, the IUICs, these crazy, man. Most importantly, for a fact that they don't all speak the same things, man. This Ephesians chapter 6 and verse 5. Servants, be obedient, which that's a commandment, man. That was instilled through what? Paul, the Apostle Paul, man. We all just speak the same things, The Lord not an author of confusion. This Ephesians 6 and 5. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh, with fear and trembling and singleness of your heart, as unto Yahweh Shah Mashiach. Right. Obey your masters into your flesh. We got spiritual parents. We got spiritual fathers, right? That we have to be trained up. Hey, the child have to be trained up in the way that they should go. All right. But you want to choose wisely, man. Out of 1,000, expound on yourself one teacher. All right. And make sure that teacher is coming in truth and in sincerity in the Lord's name. And he is correct. Right. Not with eye service as man pleasers, but as the servants of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, doing the will of God from the heart, man. From the heart, man. The truth and the sincerity, man. It comes back up again. Not being a respecter of persons, right? Which is it's a lot of individuals. They have a respect of persons, man. It's Jeremiah 17 and verse 5. Thus saith the Lord, cursed be the man that trusteth in man and maketh flesh his arm, and whose heart departeth from the Lord, man. Right. Because once you trust in man and worship man, all right, and make fleshly things your arms, man, you pretty much departed from Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, from the spirit. All right. Not by flesh and might, but through the spirit, man. Are we going to be made whole, so to speak. All right. So these other wayward camps, they got that untempered mortar, man, that's spoken about in Ezekiel chapter 13. Why? Because they're not perfect in doctrine and in spirit. All right. They don't speak the same things. All right. They're ultimately divided. All right. But Shalom, Mahabatah, and a bunch of man pleasers and DTA.